Michael had always been the kind of man who played it safe. He avoided risks, followed routines, and never stepped outside his comfort zone. His life was predictable, his career steady, and his habits unchanging. But deep inside, he felt something missing, a spark, a challenge, a reason to push beyond mediocrity. One day, everything changed. It was a cold Monday morning when Michael found himself out of breath after climbing a single flight of stairs. His chest tightened, sweat formed on his forehead, and his legs felt like lead. He wasn't an old man, but in that moment he felt ancient. That was the moment he realized something had to change. He couldn't ignore it anymore. He was unhealthy, unfit, and heading down a dangerous path. The first steps: learning to fail. Determined to reclaim his health, Michael signed up for a gym membership. He walked into the fitness center full of motivation, but as he looked around at muscular lifters and agile athletes, doubt crept into his mind. He had never lifted weights before, never run more than a few steps without feeling winded. He was starting from nothing. His first day was a disaster. He loaded the barbell too heavy, lost his balance, and nearly dropped the weight on himself. People noticed, and the embarrassment burned. On the treadmill, he barely lasted 5 minutes before his lungs felt like they were on fire. By the end of the session, he was humiliated, sore, and tempted to quit. But then he remembered the words. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Failure wasn't a sign to stop. It was proof that he was trying. He made mistakes because he was learning. For the first time in his life, Michael embraced failure as part of the process. Progress through pain. Each day, Michael returned to the gym. He stopped caring about what others thought and focused on getting better. He sought advice, studied fitness techniques, and learned about proper form. His muscles ached, but his spirit grew stronger. Every failure became a lesson, every mistake an opportunity. After weeks of struggle, he celebrated his first victory, completing a full 30-minute workout without stopping. Then came his first successful squat, his first mile run, and eventually his first real improvement in strength. The weight that once crushed him now felt manageable. The stairs that once winded him now felt like a warm-up. But progress wasn't linear. Some days were harder than others. He faced setbacks, injuries, plateaus, exhaustion, but he never let them defeat him. Every time he fell, he reminded himself that mistakes were part of growth. He was not the man who never tried. He was the man who failed, learned, and kept going. The mental transformation. As Michael's body transformed, so did his mind. He began to see challenges differently, not just in the gym, but in life. He started taking more risks at work, pushing himself in new areas, and facing his fears head-on. The discipline he built in fitness carried into his daily life. He was no longer afraid of mistakes because he understood their value. He also found a community. The same people he once feared judgment from became his allies. The gym-goers who had once seemed intimidating now encouraged him, shared their stories, and celebrated his victories. He was no longer alone in his journey. The ultimate test. Months later, an opportunity arose, a local fitness competition. It wasn't about winning. It was about proving to himself how far he had come. He entered, knowing full well that he would compete against people far stronger and faster than he was. But he didn't care about being the best. He only cared about being better than the man he was yesterday. On competition day, Michael gave it his all. He didn't win first place, but he finished every challenge, completed every set, and crossed the finish line with a heart full of pride. He had done something he never thought possible, breaking new limits. After the competition, Michael realized that his journey was far from over. Instead of returning to his old routine, he set new goals, running a marathon, increasing his strength, and even helping others who were just starting out. He became a mentor to beginners at the gym, sharing his struggles and encouraging them to keep going despite their failures. He took courses on nutrition, fitness coaching, and mental resilience. What started as a personal mission to improve his health had evolved into a passion for inspiring others. He documented his journey, sharing both the victories and the struggles, and soon others began reaching out, thanking him for showing them that failure wasn't the enemy. It was the teacher. The moment everything clicked. Months later, Michael signed up for his first fitness competition. Not to win, but to prove to himself that he could do it. On the day of the event, he showed up nervous as hell. The competition was intense. People were jacked. The workouts were brutal. But Michael? He didn't quit. He finished every round, crossed the finish line, and for the first time in his life, he didn't feel like an outsider in the fitness world. He felt like he belonged. Full circle, from struggling beginner to fitness mentor. The biggest flex? Michael wasn't just changing his own life. His friends started hitting him up, asking how he did it. He started helping beginners at the gym because he knew exactly how it felt to be lost and intimidated. And one day, a guy walked up to him, looking nervous, and said, "Hey man, I just started working out, and I feel like I suck at it. I don't know what I'm doing." Michael just grinned and said, "Bro, you're already ahead of most people just by starting." Michael's glow-up wasn't just about fitness. Confidence leveled up, social skills upgraded, and for the first time in forever, he actually felt good about himself. That's when he met Emma. She was at the gym, crushing her workout while Michael was finishing his set. They kept making eye contact, and one day, she casually said, "You've improved a lot. I remember when you almost wiped out on the treadmill." Michael turned red. "Oh, you saw that?" Emma laughed. "Yeah, but hey, look at you now." What started as gym banter turned into post-workout smoothies, then actual dates. Emma was into fitness, but not in a wake up at 4 a.m. and run 10 miles way. She just liked seeing people improve. And she liked Michael. For the first time, he realized that all those small wins, showing up, pushing through failures, embracing the struggle, had led to something more than just muscle. They led to self-respect, growth, love, closing. So what about you? Closing a new beginning. Michael's journey wasn't about losing weight or lifting the heaviest weights. It was about overcoming fear, embracing mistakes, and pushing beyond self-imposed limits. He realized that failure was never the end, only a step toward success. And as he looked back at the man who once gasped for air on a staircase, he smiled. That man was gone, replaced by someone who knew that the only true failure was never trying at all. Because, in the end, a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new.